Good morning, everybody. We have a mixed trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. May corn futures up 3 1/4 at 5.52 3/4. May soybeans are down 2 cents at 14.17 1/2. May Chicago wheat down 5.5 cents at 6.39 1/2. May Kansas City wheat down 8.5 cents at 5.98 1/4. May spring wheat is down 4.5 cents at 6.34 1/2. For those of you guys listening on the podcast, much appreciated. If you have not left me a review already, I could certainly use some more reviews on the Apple Podcast app in particular. Any thoughts that you have would really appreciate any feedback. And for those of you watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the like button. That would really help me out with YouTube, the way that their algorithms work, and help to get these videos distributed a little bit more widely. And remember, as always, if you need some additional help from me with your grain marketing, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. You can go to that website and click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner. And if you go down, you click the subscribe button. For $49 a month, billed to your credit card automatically through PayPal, I will send you my morning email, which goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. I'll send you my text message service. This is a deal you can cancel at any time. It includes all my grain marketing recommendations. All of my sales are broken down by crop year, by percentage. It's very specific. You do not need to be a futures or options trader to participate in this stuff. You can be a cash-only grain marketer and follow along. So certainly check that out. To get into the headlines here this morning, Trade Chatter suggests that China may have booked some more U.S. corn this week. This sort of talk is perhaps responsible for yesterday's rally in the old crop corn contracts and maybe some of the strength that we're seeing here this morning. If such a sale did occur, you'll probably see it reported in the form of a flash sale during the next day or two. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Russia is prepared to stop grain export regulation once the market stabilizes. This was a Newswire story reported by Interfax overnight, citing the country's ag minister. This was the quote, supposedly: "As soon as the situation stabilizes, we will be ready to consider various other approaches to regulating the market, including the exclusion of any interference at all." That's what the ag minister said. And he went on to say, "But for now, we must make sure that all of our grain is not exported abroad. This is extremely important." As I've discussed in the past, this is what I would call a man-made supply disruption. It can be changed with the stroke of a pen. I don't know if this is simply political, if this is actually something they're considering, but for the moment, it's just a headline and nothing more than that. U.S. soybean crushings fell sharply last month. NOPA reported that members crushed 155.2 million bushels of soybeans in February. That's the lowest in 17 months, well below pre-report expectations, which were about 168.6. Still, this was the second best February on record, behind only February of last year. The deal here is that we had that nasty winter storm at the end of February, and I think that probably reduced processing capacity there for a week or so. But still, grand scheme of things, USDA is projecting a record crush for the marketing year, and given what we've seen here marketing year to date, we're on track to hit that projection and maybe even exceed it by a little bit. U.S. corn shipments are very strong. USDA reported that 2.2 million metric tons of corn were inspected for export last week. That's about 87 million bushels. That's up from 1.67 the prior week, which was also a very good week. So that week, last week, 87 million bushels. That was the second best week of shipments on record. Corn export sales, on the other hand, have been soft during the last 2 or 3 weeks after just an extraordinary start to the marketing year. U.S. stock market posted fresh all-time highs yesterday. The S&P 500 posted a record close of 39.68. It has rallied 81% from the March 2020 low. The Dow Jones closed at 32,953. That's its best close on record. The index has rallied also 81% from the March 2020 low. The tech-based Nasdaq index, also the best close on record. It has rallied 93% from the March 2020 low. You got a lot of vaccine optimism, massive government stimulus. These are all things that have helped to rally the market. Speaking of vaccine progress, COVID vaccine distribution is moving very quickly. In the U.S., 109 million doses have been administered during the last week. We've averaged 2.4 million per day. Keep in mind, COVID cases in the U.S. Since last year have totaled like 30 million. So we've already given 109 million vaccine doses. So I think that this is related to a lot of things. I think that you go back to that stock market story. There's just a lot of optimism regarding the vaccine, regarding the prospect of things reopening, if you want to put it that way. Certainly some positives here. Wanted to show you guys a chart. Commodity markets overall, this is one of the charts I had in my newsletter this morning. Commodity markets overall are still very, very cheap. This is a chart of the Bloomberg Commodity Index, which tracks a basket of commodities. And this is a quarterly chart that goes back to 2004. And what you can see here is that, yes, we have in fact had a commodity rally that began last year, but commodity markets in general, grand scheme of things, are still very cheap compared to where they were in, say, that time frame from 2005 through 2013. The way that this index is weighted is 30% energies, 23% grains, 16% industrial metals, 19% precious metals, 7% softs, 5% livestock. It's kind of interesting that you have a lot of analysts and traders talking about inflation or the possibility of hyperinflation, yet commodities overall still very, very cheap. Certainly something to consider this morning. Cattle market had a good close yesterday. We finished higher on the live cattle, triple-digit gains in some of those contracts. Feeder cattle were also up. Hogs were a little bit lower. Ahead of the cash open, we've got the Dow Jones down 20 points. S&P's up 4. Gold's up $3. U.S. dollars down a little bit. We've got the crude oil down 77 cents at 64.62. We've got the bonds up just a little bit. Remember, if you guys need some more information, check out my website. Everybody have a great day today. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.